So let's continue from here. We were talking about web communication and personal communication and the mass media communication. Okay, so web occupies a wide middle ground, as we have said, between the mass media and the personal contact. Okay, people now resist to mass media messages. As I've said, people are not always active, so they are always in a passive nature of media consumption, and the reason is, as I said, they are not interacting with the business, right? So when you take web communication means using the web, right? So users enter a website, they look for products, okay? They check for prices, they check for quality, they check for color, they put this products in their shopping cart, okay? There is interaction. So in web, customers are active, but in mass media, they are very passive, okay? So that's why nowadays people are now very resistant to mass media message, and people, we usually mute when there comes an advertisement from the TV, right? Because people are just either we don't hear or we don't we are not active, okay? So, but it's better to use a trust-based model approach instead of this to meet the customers. So, new internet communications modalities for individuals and companies have been created after the internet. So, you know what is a blog, right? Or blog is a short for weblog, right? Weblog or blog. So blog is a personal website, right? And people can write their personal beliefs. It could be about politics, okay? Or it could be any other personal beliefs they have on their own website. So it is what it's their thought. So website allowing people to post thoughts and inviting others to add commentary to it. Commentary is when somebody has a blog and they write something about politics or any other personal beliefs. We can comment and we can criticize, right? So it's a kind of interactive communication between the owner of the blog and the other people or the audience. So retailers experimenting with blogs and social media as adjunct communication means. Okay, so in addition to blogs, now companies are also using social media to reach their customers. Okay, so the web as compared to mass media, this a mass media communication is one way, right? But web communication is a two-way communication, right? Because in mass media, for example, in TV or radio advertising, then it is from the radio to the audience. So the audience do not reply or do not interact with the radio, right? So that's why we call it a one-way communication. But in web communication, the customer visiting the web or the website is communicating or interacting. He is choosing products, okay? He is inputting some information into the website. So that is a two-way communication. That's why the customer is very active. So, and let's talk about segmentation. So we've said we have to group our customers based on different characteristics, okay? So dividing potential customer pools into segments is called market segmentation. And this defined in demographic characteristics terms. So it's not only demographics that we use to market segments actually. we can use geography, we can use demography, we can use psychography. Okay, so these are different ways of segmentation. So we can segment our customers based on where they are located. Okay, we can say European customer, African customer, Asian customer. Okay, or within domestic market, we can say Seoul customers, Seoul customers. Okay, we can, because people might also have different characteristics based on their location, right? Like Europeans do not have the same characteristics as Asians, right? Or do not have the same buying behavior than like the Asia and Europe. And also, not even Asia and Europe, but within the same country, Seoul, people who live in Seoul and people who live in Daegu or so on might have different characteristics. Okay, so we try to segment them as much as possible so that we can directly address what these people need. And the other is a demographic. Demographic could be age, could be gender, okay, could be race. So there are so many ways to segment within demography. And psychography is a mental setup. Okay, so the philosophy of thinking could be also used as a segmentation criteria, right? So that is called a psychography. So it could be about it could be about the social class, okay, or it could be about, I don't know, personality, or it could be a philosophy of the customer. Okay, geography could be location. So we use these different criteria to classify or to segment. Okay, so that is very important actually. So when we run a business and we have customers, let's say we have about 1,000 customers. So we have to divide these customers into different segments. We can divide them based on demography, we can divide them based on geography, you can divide them based on psychography. The reason is because there is what we call a customer group, okay? And in this customer group, we have to create a database, a separate database for different customer groups, okay? And we have to study their behavior, okay? And through time, from their behavior or from their eating habits or from their communication habits, we devise or we modify our products or services in order to meet their needs, okay? So unless you classify them, unless you segment them, and unless you study them, then you don't know what the customers want, okay? So there are different business approach. You don't usually listen to what customers want, okay? You don't usually ask them, what do you want, what do you want, right? You have to be ahead of the customers, okay? That is how you be successful, okay? You study the behavior of the customer, you produce products studying the behavior. So the customers will like the product most probably because you have already studied them, okay? But if you are always listening to the customers, what to produce, what to do, then your business will not be successful because you are not proactive, okay? So, and the other is also, there is also what we call a micro marketing. So this is even targeting small market segments, okay? So not even race. Okay, within race, you again try to focus on a very specific group within race, okay? Or let's say within age, then you might close or you might make the gap between the age very short, okay? That will be a micro marketing, okay? So the problem with segmentation and micro marketing is it's very expensive or it is costly to do business, right? because once you segment them, or once you're micro marketing, you are contacting a few group of people, and studying them, meeting them, communicating them will cost you a lot. Okay, but if you have just millions of customers and you are treating all this customer the same way, and you don't have to study them, you don't have to identify what they need, then that is a lot cheaper compared to segmentation. Right? Okay, so here you can see here, for example, type of television programs and type of advertising. Okay, so this is segmentation. Right? So they have identified when children cartoon television program is playing, you advertise toys and games, right? So as a business, as a marketing strategist, you have to choose when to advertise your products. Okay, so if you are producing products for children, if you are producing toys and games, you have to identify the time when children cartoon is playing, so that you can advertise your product during that time. Daytime drama, mostly household and laundry goods and pet foods are advertised. Nighttime snacks, because people eat snacks and watch movies at night, right? Golf tournament, this equipment is baseball. Okay, so based on even the timing, the type of advertising might also differ, because you want to target this customer groups. Okay, so companies try to match advertising message to the market segments and build sales environments for a product or service. Okay. Okay. And the other is about web opportunity, that this presents store environment as online. And Juicy Culture is a website that targets young fashion conscious buyers. So if you go to, for example, this website, this is they sell clothes, okay? But the unique thing is, when you visit this, for example, visit like talboots.com, okay, you'll find adults, okay, ladies, and this product, this clothes sold in this website are clothes for adult women. Okay, so that is how you target your customer group. So adults who wants to buy clothes can directly go to this website and look for products, because the people or the clothes are prepared according to their style. Okay, so the limitations of physical retail stores are you must have a floor, you must have a display space. Okay, let's say you have a physical store and your customers are children, okay, and also the young and the old. You have all these customers that enjoy your products. Okay, so if you don't have a web presence, or if you are not running a website, you must have different physical places for these different customers, right? You must prepare a place where you sell these children's products. You must have a product to sell, young products for the youngsters and products for the old. Okay, this consumes a lot of space. But if you are running a website, okay, or a web business, then you can have one website, and on this website, you can have children's version of the website, younger version of the website, older version of the website. Okay, so on a single website, you can have this separate virtual places for different market segments. Okay, so that's what we call virtual spaces. So they are not physically there, but you can have virtual spaces on the web. Right? But if you are running a physical retail store, then you must have the floor, the display space, okay, and it is very, very expensive. Okay, then there is one-to-one marketing. So this is very micro, right? So one-to-one marketing is categorized under the micro marketing, okay? So one-to-one is to contact your customers in person, okay? And as you know, it's very expensive. But the other, so this one-to-one marketing in its physical presence is very expensive because you have to physically contact them. But one-to-one marketing, for example, with the Dell strategy, okay? This means, for example, Dell became very, very profitable after a one-to-one marketing. So this means Dell receives specification of products, okay, from their customers. So let's say you either call or you contact on their website, and you specify what type of a computer you want, okay, the RAM size of the computer, okay, the hard disk size, okay, all the performance issues you can list for them, okay, and they can produce this product according to your needs and deliver it to you, okay. So what previously was done in Dell is they mass produce, okay. Mass produce means they produce similar products in a mass and they store it in warehouse, and when customers order these products, they sell these products, okay. If you remember, we used to upgrade our own computers, right? We buy a computer at a standard performance level, then we buy a hard disk, then we buy a RAM, okay? Then there are slots where you can maximize the size of the RAM, right? And hard disk. So we increase the performance of our computers by our service. But now what Dell has done is they receive calls or orders through website from the customers, and these customers specify the performance or the requirements, okay, the RAM requirement, the hard disk, speed, all this. And the Dell company will configure this new computer, and sell it, I mean, send it to the customer, okay? So in terms of speed or customer response, the previous mass production could be fast, right? Because you have already prepared the computer, you're just waiting for a customer call or order, then you send it to the customer, right? So that's very fast. But in the second one, you have to customize according to the needs of the customer. So you don't have any, you only have the base product in your warehouse. Then you have to modify the RAM, the hard disk, and other performance requirements, then you send it. So it is not as fast as mass production, but in terms of addressing the customer's need, it is very good. And also in terms of decreasing the cost of warehouse, it's very preferable, okay? So they'll become very profitable because they have now cut the warehouse expense, because they don't have to keep too much computers in the warehouse. They just wait for customer orders, okay? Okay, let's continue then. So far we are talking about market segmentation, right? So let's recap the previous topics and we go to the next topic, okay? So in the recap, companies target similar customer groups, as I've said, okay? That is called segmentation. And one-to-one marketing is the chance to create individually unique web presence. Okay, so I will tell you another example for one-to-one. Here, one-to-one is a daily example, but here, the other example for one-to-one marketing is in Amazon or in Gmart. You have your own in Gmarket. You have your own profile, right? Because you log into this Amazon or Gmart, okay? So when you log in, you see your own page, right? On your own page, you can see products that you have purchased, products in your shopping cart, okay? Your buying experience, okay? So other details. So this is also called one-to-one marketing because we are now creating a profile for each customers, okay? That is also considered one-to-one marketing. And the next step is to use the web to target specific customers in different ways at different times. Okay, let's talk about customer behaviors. So the same person might have different behaviors, right? For example, I might be hungry. When I'm hungry, I want fast food, or I want a food which could be delivered very fast, okay? Or let's say when I'm doing something else, I behave differently, right? So the same person might need different combination of products and services depending on the occasion, right? Depending on different occasion. Let's say I was busy, I want to process something very fast. I'm hungry, I want to eat something prepared very fast, okay? So, like for example, a drive-through, right? A drive-through is prepared for people who are in a hurry, right? But who are hungry at the same time. So they are in a hurry, but they are hungry. So there is a drive-through they can buy and go, right? So people might also have or might also show different behaviors based on different occasions, okay? You have different personality when you go to a funeral, but you have different personality when you go to a wedding, right? Different occasions. So they are proposing behavioral segmentation. Okay, this is a new type of segmentation. So let's segment people based on their behavior. So I might be segmented based on my age in the demographic segmentation, but at the same time, I might also have my own behavioral segmentations, right? So this is a creation of separate customer experience based on behavior. And this is also called occasion segmentation, right? Because it is dependent on some occasions. So behavioral segmentation is based on things happening at a specific time or occasion, right? So the online world is single website design, so easier to meet needs of different behavior modes. So in the physical store, it is expensive, right? Because you need different setup and different room for different occasions. But in online world, then it's easier to meet different behavior modes. You don't have to have a different rooms or something, right? You can create a virtual space on the web. So you can treat different behaviors, right? And they can include elements appealing to different behavioral segments. So, and the other is on this usage-based market segmentation, customizing visitors' experience to match the site's usage behavior patterns of each visitor or type is required. So categories of online behavior patterns. So these are very important categories in online patterns. There is a buyer, a browser, there is a buyer, and there are shoppers, okay? So I want you to know these categories of online behavior patterns. It could be based on the, it's categorized in the browser, the buyer, and the shopper. So let's talk about the browser. So you know what is a browser, right? The one that you use to access the internet. So visitors just surf for browsing. So these are different characteristics, okay? Browsers are those people who just surf the internet. Buyers are people who buy. Shoppers are just people who see and maybe come back, okay? So website must offer something peculiar or different to this visitor's interest, okay? So you might use trigger words to prompt visitors to stay and investigate products or services, okay? For a browser, so browser is someone who just looks through your product. So you might use trigger words to keep this visitor on your site. Have links to site explanations or instructions. You can also include extra content related to the product or service, which leads to favorable impressions. So you can, or you can create a bookmark. But there are also okay. Let's just wait a minute. The Wacom is not working. So, and there are also buyers. Buyers are those who visit a website and who directly go for buying a product, okay? And shoppers are those, so you have to treat them according to their behaviors, right? For the browsers, you have to create a trigger word, or you have to have a pop-up windows. Those customers who have a buying behavior, okay, because they directly go for buying, then you prepare or you make it easy for them to go for purchasing the product, okay? So maybe under the product, you can say pay, something like that, so that the customer can easily go there. So buyers are ready to make a purchase right away, and they offer direct route. Offering direct route to purchase transaction is the way to treat these buyers, right? Because they have a buyer's behavior, and they might have their shopping cart prepared. So these buyers, or if you identify a customer as a buyer based on his previous characteristics, and if this customer has a product in a shopping cart, then you have to alert them that you have a product, and if you need to buy, then you can proceed, right? So the primary goal of this is to get buyers to shopping cart as quickly as possible, right? And there are shoppers. Shoppers are motivated to buy, okay? Looking for more information before purchase. So you can offer comparison tools, okay, product reviews, and feature lists to this kind of shoppers, this kind of customers, right? So if, for example, if you go to eBay website, let's say you are looking for a camera, right? And there are different brands of camera, right? So let's say there are brand 1 and camera brand 2. Using eBay, you can compare these products, okay? You can go to comparison, then eBay will compare this product. eBay will put camera 1 here, camera 2 here, and list all the specific criteria or specific features of these products, and also the price, okay? So this is very helpful, because as a customer, you don't want to go to all the brands and check the price. So eBay will does this for you. So for those who have a shopper characteristics, then we can treat them like this, okay? So we have those with buyer characteristics, those which are browsers, and those who are shoppers, okay? So we have to treat them according to their. So how do you know if a customer is a buyer or a browser? You can say that, okay? But you can count the number of clicks on your website, and you can calculate the number of minutes a customer is on your website, and the time it took this customer to buy your product, okay? Let's say a customer just log in, or just opened your website, and within 5 minutes, he bought a product from your website. So you can categorize this customer as a buyer, right? And you might find a customer who comes to your website, browse everything, and goes back. This is a browser. A shopper, that's a customer who was comparing, checking for prices of different products, okay? So this is very good. You can now classify your customer based on also some demographics, but also on behavior, okay? And which is very good to know your customers. But there are also some alternative models. So you know McKinsey and Company, this is a consulting firm, okay? So they have identified, they have done this research on about 50,000, okay? On 50,000 active users. They have done this research, and on this research, they have found out there are 6 behavior-based categories. So they have categorized them as simplifiers or convenience, surfers, bargainers, connectors, routiners, and sporters. So these are the 6 behavior-based categories identified by this consulting firm called McKinsey and Company. Right? So you must identify groups and formulate ways of generating revenue. Okay, you have to address the needs of these individual customers. So let's talk about customer relationship intensity and lifecycle segmentation. So one-to-one marketing and usage-based segmentation value can strengthen your company's relationship with your customer, right? That's clear, because now you know your customers very well, and you treat them or you serve them according to their needs. So that strengthens the relationship between you and your customer, right? So good customer experience will be created, and intense loyalty. So in marketing, loyalty is very important. Okay, you know, acquiring a new customer, okay, is very difficult. To create one more new customer to your business, okay, you have to invest, because you have to identify prospect customers, you have to send them emails or call them, okay, and you acquire a new customer, let's say. Then if you have a very good relationship with this customer, customers create what we call a loyalty. Loyalty means, for example, if you are very loyal to Adidas, then whatever products Adidas produce, you buy them and you use them, right? That is customer loyalty. And loyalty is very important, because this customer will stay with you forever, okay? And there is concept of retaining a customer. Retaining a customer means keeping the customer with you for a long time. So if a customer is very loyal to you, then you can retain them for a long time, which means they will be buying your products, okay? So retaining a customer is very important for a business. And you have to do everything that it takes, because retaining is 4 times expensive than acquiring a new customer. Okay, I mean, acquiring a new customer is 4 times expensive than retaining a customer. So you try all your best to study the customer and deliver whatever the customer wants and retain them, because it's very expensive to acquire new customers into your business. Okay, so there are typical 5-stage models for customer loyalty. The fourth stage shows there is increased in relationship intensity, but the fifth one is separation, which is a decline stage. Okay, so customers have this relationship. First, they get aware of your products, then they explore about your products, okay? Then finally, they get familiar with your products. Then they will have a commitment of buying your products. That is the peak, okay? That is the peak. So what we are trying to do in retaining customers is to do whatever it takes to keep the customer here. Because after retaining, it is separation, which means the customer will be looking for a new product, okay? So these are the 5 stages of customer loyalty. So we have to use all the touch points in our website. Touch points are points that you use to connect with your customer. It could be email, it could be chat, okay? It should be phone call. So these are the touch points. So you have to find all the online and offline customer contact points and talk to your customer and retain them. So I want you to read about this. Awareness, exploration, familiarity. It's easy, okay? Commitment, separation is the last one, where the condition is made for change. And life cycle segmentation is also called a customer life cycle. So it's also called a 5-stage of segmentation, and not segmentation, a 5-stage cycle. So using this stage to create customer groups in each stage. So let's talk about acquisition and retention. So I've already mentioned some points, right? Acquisition, conversion, retention of customers. So acquisition is to acquire, to recruit new customers, right? Conversion is to make them your permanent customers, permanent in a sense. So there are potential customers. In acquisition, you have potential customers. For example, you talk to people, say, oh, we have a very good product, contact us. That is acquiring. Conversion is you convert these potential customers to be or prospect, okay? And finally, you retain them, okay? Retain them is you keep them with you, but it has a cost. Acquisition has a cost, conversion has a cost, retention also has a cost, okay? So the goal is to attract new visitors to a website. Acquisition cost is total cost of money that you spend drawing one visitor to a site. Conversion is to convert that to a customer, and it has a cost because you have to go through so many communication. Retention is to retain or to keep them with you. Then it has a cost because that is the last stage and the customer might go. So you have to find ways to retain your customer. So it's very important to measure this acquisition and retention and conversion of customers, okay? So again, take like 10 minutes of break and I'll be back, okay?